last 15 minutes, court has actually recessed. After the closing arguments, and we're not through with closing arguments yet, the judge held the lawyers all back in the courtroom as they went through the charge conference. But what a day in the courtroom today. Those courtroom doors locked, nobody coming in or out during the closing argument so as not to throw the lawyers off here in the home stretch. So tense, so explosive in that courtroom. The judge had to call a recess as the attorneys looked as if they were going to come to blows. Jose Baez turning around and screaming at Ashton, sitting there trying his best to cover up a smirk at what Baez saying in closing arguments. It went crazy, the whole room up for grabs. The judge sends the jury out, calls the lawyers out, reams them all out, and then they all file back into the courtroom. Jen Casares, the lawyers practically coming to blows in court today. What happened?
Nancy, it took so long. That's why they didn't finish closing arguments today and have to conclude them on the 4th of July tomorrow. It all began when Jose Baez turned to look at Jeff Ashton, who was trying to hide a smile, but he started sort of picking at his nose, and you could see the smile on his face. And that's when Baez called him a laughing man in front of the jury, and the judge immediately called for a sidebar.
Yeah, he screamed it out. He's about 4 feet from the jury, screaming back out at Ashton. Immediately a recess was called. The judge called everybody back behind chambers. You know, bottom line, that's not the way it's supposed to go down in a court of law. This on top of the defense calling his own client a slut and a liar in court. Unleash the lawyers. Joining me tonight, Pilar Prince, defense attorney, family law attorney, Atlanta. Dwayne Cates, defense attorney, joining us out of Phoenix. And let's bring in Carolyn Robbins-Manley, high-profile jury consultant. Bottom line, out to you, Pilar. You don't call your own client a slut in front of the jury.
Nancy, I was shocked. And something that he kept saying was that Jeff Ashton had called her a slut. And I don't recall ever hearing Jeff Ashton call her a slut. You have to be so careful.
Well, you're right, Pilar. You've been listening to every word of the case just like the rest of us. No, the state never called Tot Mom a slut. Now, it can be inferred by the evidence. Let me just put that out there. But you know what? I'm not throwing a stone when it comes to that. All I care about is this murder case. What about it, Kate?
Well, you know what? He called her a slut, and I think he had to do that because I think everybody's thinking it. That's the 800-pound elephant in the room, and that's what she was acting like while her daughter was missing. So I think he just called it like he saw it.
Well, you know what? It may have popped into his head, Dwayne Cates, but did he have to blurt it out in front of the jury? Could somebody tell me how that's going to help Tot Mom for her own lawyer to call her a liar and a slut right in front of the jury? What about it? Robin Walensky, WDBO, help me out here. Throw me a bone. Her own lawyers calling her a liar and a slut?
It was the most unbelievable moment of the day. I couldn't believe, Nancy, that the words were crossing his lips, that they were coming out of his mouth. But keep in mind, go back to the opening argument from Jose Baez and what he said in opening when he graphically described allegedly the abuse, the sexual abuse from George Anthony, the father. He, I think, lost the jury then. It was a real turnoff when he used that word. And today, using the word slut and a liar to boot.